Hey guys, it's Rich with another Tarot Talk Tuesday. In this Tarot Talk, I will be discussing and doing a deck review of the Epic Tarot. This is produced by Lo Scarabeo, made by Riccardo Minetti and Paolo Martinello. I hope I pronounced those correctly. This came out in 2016, and the instructions are written by Barbara Moore. I do love Barbara Moore's writings of tarot decks. So I actually like the way that she wrote the book to this one, even though it is a little white book, or in this case, a little black book. So a little bit about the packaging. Your typical Lo Scarabeo little flip-top box for the deck versions. I don't know if this comes in a kit version. If it does, I would like to see the kit version. I would like to see some of the stuff in the kit version. That's just me. I like kit versions because you get the big companion book and whatnot. So anyway, that aside. Little black book. Nice little black book. And it has one spread. And it has an introduction. And I'm going to read just the first paragraph of the introduction. The Epic Tarot presents a fantasy world through which we can explore our connections to the physical, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual experiences of being human. The cards are designed to not only present a linear template for the journey, but also to highlight the relationships between the cards. By paying attention to how cards interact with each other, we can do readings more easily, seeing the big picture first and then following individual cards deeper to get more detail. Many tarot decks present the major arcana as a modified hero's journey, often called the Fool's Journey. The Epic Tarot takes its own Fool's Journey by exploring the connections between the major cards in a non-linear fashion, releasing the importance of rank and the limiting idea of linear progression that was based on medieval philosophy. The Epic Tarot's structure focuses on the relationships between the cards. So I kind of really like that. I'm actually going to have to read more into this to see how how each one interacts with each other. So yeah, they do talk about that in here, so definitely something I'm going to have to read more into and kind of, contemplate on. But it goes on to give more tips on how to study with this tarot deck as far as an advanced study. And then it talks about the spread. And then for both the majors and minors, it gives a small, 1-2 sentence blurb that I really like the way Barbara Moore writes. So I think she just writes in a clear and concise way. She doesn't convolute it, especially in her little tarot books, the companion books. I really like the way that she writes. So kind of like in this little black book for that. And now we get to the cards. Now, one thing that I have in my notes here are pentacles are now spheres, wands are books, cups are chalices, and that's usual. And let's see, pages are now called knaves and depicted as a unicorn. Knights are griffins, queens are phoenixes, and kings are dragons. So things to keep in mind while you're talking about this deck. Whenever it comes to kings, queens, and all that other stuff. So let me go ahead and get to the review of the deck itself and have a comparison to the Rider-Waite-Smith. So on down to the nether regions we go. Okay, so first things first, let's discuss a little bit about this background. I have no complaints. I love the artwork of this background. It appears to be fully reversible, and I actually think it is fully reversible. So no complaints about that background. I think it's very beautifully done. Little bit about the borders. This one is not meant to be borderless. And I have something in my notes. Yes, it is reversible, but there are not reversal meanings given in the book. So if that's something that you look for in a book, you're not going to get it in this little black book. It's not meant to be borderless, so something to keep in mind if you plan on cutting this deck. Just be careful and be aware that it's not meant to be borderless. Yeah. And of course you get a little title card. These are always appreciated because I use them as bookmarks. I love these. So, and it has a little quote from Homer's The Odyssey. So we'll go ahead and stick that over there. We'll use that as a bookmark. A little bit about the cardstock. It's as thick as a Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So same cardstock as the Rider-Waite-Smith by US Games, and I had everything nice and neatly done, and then I just screwed it all up. Okay, there we go. That's better. And what else do I have here? I do like the artwork, but it doesn't seem to be immediately recognizable as a Rider-Waite-Smith type of clone, and you'll see what I mean as I start flipping through here. There are no names given on the bottoms, so that's something to keep notice of. Some of these are recognizable as clones of the Rider-Waite-Smith system, but a lot of them just I don't really see it immediately. That's definitely a lover's card. Definitely a lover's card. So, hey, no complaints about that one. Except I wish there was a different guy in there. Two guys instead of a guy and a girl. But okay. Beggars can't be choosers. It's still a hot and steamy sex scene. See, I don't get Wheel of Fortune from this. Again, there might be something in the book. As usual, I'm doing this review before I actually fully read the book. And it's actually not that big of a book, so I shouldn't have any problems reading it. There seems to be some diversity in here as far as cultural diversity. I'm not seeing a lot of darker skins. And I'm probably just missing it because I'm trying to pay attention to flipping the cards rather than actually looking. But I could be missing it. So, but it definitely seems to be some influences from different cultures. That's always appreciated. See, some of this I would get the meanings. I don't get Ten of Swords from this. I really don't. And another thing, I find these difficult to understand as far as like a Rider-Waite-Smith clone. Not something that immediately speaks to me as a Queen of Swords. So definitely something I'd have to get used to before I go reading with it. I do like books being incorporated into a tarot deck. Something that I do like to see. In fact, an entire book suit. That'd be cool for something like the Back to School Tarot or something like that. You have that instead of a suit of pentacles. I think that would just be amazing. But a lot of this I don't really immediately see a Rider-Waite-Smith type of essence to it. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. If you guys see it in this entire deck, let me know, because maybe I'm just not seeing it in every card. There are some cards that I definitely see it. But there are other cards that I'm just completely missing it. Like that one, I can see that as a Two of Cups. That one maybe chalices, but that one okay. I can accept that one too. This one, it's getting a little fuzzy. This one too. So, I mean, not a bad deck. I do like the images. I think they are very nicely done images. Los Scarabeo really... I want to say that Los Scarabeo knows how to pick their artists, because I don't think I've gotten a Los Scarabeo deck that I really did not like the artwork at all. And very few times have I seen a Los Scarabeo deck that I did not like the artwork. So, yeah. They know how to pick their artists. And this artwork it's pretty, like, fantastic. It's a little edgy in some parts, like this one. But it's a little bit darker, a little bit more grim looking in some parts. But I think it's still beautiful. You know what? That's kind of cool, because that's the Empress, and I believe that's the Hermit. Relationships or relations in the cards. Maybe just a little. In the timeline of the cards. I'm starting to see what they were saying here. But I still don't see all of the same types of imagery in the Rider-Waite-Smith type of clone style. So, still something I'm going to have to get used to. Something I'm going to have to study and work on. Do some journaling and whatnot on this, even though I am a terrible journaler. But that is the Epic Tarot, produced by Los Scarabeo, made by Richard Minetti and Paolo Martinello, and instructions by Barbara Moore. Let's see how the shuffling goes. Good first shuffle. Nice, strong first shuffle. I can't speak. So, shuffles well. No complaints on that. Good bounce back. Good deck. Cardstock, nice and sturdy. No complaints about that. So, yeah, just a little thing on the cards not really matching up with the Rider-Waite-Smith system. That's the only complaint that I have on this deck, and that's really more of a convenience thing than anything for me, because you certainly don't have to follow the Rider-Waite-Smith system to have a tarot deck. Certainly not the case. But it's not one of those out of the box and start reading type of decks. But it is a very, very pretty deck. One that I will have to sit down and work with and exercise my mind thing with. So, that is the Epic Tarot by Los Scarabeo, or produced by Los Scarabeo, made by Richard Minetti and Paolo Martinello, and instructions by Barbara Moore. Like I said, I don't know if this comes in a kit version, but if it does, then I have not seen it. I have only seen this one. That doesn't mean it's not out there. It just means that it's kind of being evasive to my eyeballs. So, anyway, if you enjoyed this, let me know by leaving a comment below. If you didn't enjoy this, let me know by leaving a comment below. And if you have this deck and you like working with it, let me know by a comment below. Next time, I'm going to be reviewing the Morgan Greer Tarot. And, yeah. That's all I have for this video. Until next time, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.